All right, guys, hi. Well, welcome to Talking Food, and I apologize, we're kind of in the middle of a different conversation.
We are. We're talking about soccer. Well, Italy, soccer, pasta.
Right. Pasta, that kind of works out together. But we do apologize for last week. We seem to have lost the internet to the building.
No, we lost it.
So, well, we lost the internet, and so you lost the feed, but it's totally cool. So last week we were talking about, well, we started the hour with some pad thai, finishing up on Asian noodles, and then we started with traditional pasta, and we got through a couple things, and so we're going to backtrack just a hair and talk pasta this hour for Talking Food, and I'm here with Chef Carlo. Hi, Chef.
Yay! How you doing, guys? It's not that we lost a little bit of the internet. We lost the whole shebang.
Yeah,
we are hardwired here.
It disappears. It's not like us. It's not like you know.
It's like the whole thing.
All the hamsters in the internet wheel fell over and crashed.
It was fun, but it was fun because we're talking. It's like, oh, we're talking to ourselves.
But we were still on the we were still on the radio though.
Yeah, we're still on the radio, and I don't know if the podcast recorded.
Yeah, the podcast recorded, and you know, because you can listen to Talking Food in 5 different ways. You can,
Only 5.
Only 5.
Only 5. Please let us know which 5.
Well, we're on Facebook with Studio 67 NCC, and we encourage you to like the page so that you know when Studio 67 goes live with any of our myriad of shows, our live shows. We're also on YouTube. It's Nashcom College. If you're a follower of Nashcom College, you'll also get a notification when we go live. You can check us out on 89.1 here locally. Of course, you can also check us out on our live stream from the radio station, which is nashcc.edu/BBR for Big Bang Radio. And then click on the live stream. You can listen to us there. Or you can always check out our podcast. Or you can follow up with older shows on Facebook and YouTube. So we are everywhere.
It's almost like, no, I can't say that word. We're in the South.
Okay.
We're going to go to hell if I say that. But we're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, I was trying to put the show online, but of course my phone is failing now. Okay.
You need a better phone.
It's an iPhone.
Even he needs a better phone.
Ah, I can hear out there. It's like, is he trashing iPhones? It's like, it's okay. So we were talking about pasta last week, and we started the pad thai, bibimbaps, and then we ended up talking pasta. Pasta is a wide world of possibilities.
Canvas, blank canvas.
Oh, talk about blank canvas.
Oh.
Pasta, it's a blank canvas. Oh, what about tacos? Chef Carlo's like, yeah, that's a blank canvas too. But
I think anything you could fill with something is blank canvas.
I think any good starch, like a good plate of clear noodles, that's a canvas. Rice, I love rice. There's this beautiful steamed rice. It's a canvas. You can add anything to it, but pasta, it holds a big place in my heart.
Well, you are Italian.
Yes, I am. And it's delicious. And even though, and nowadays, as our bodies ages, I have difficulties of digesting gluten, I'm still eating it.
I'm going to eat it no matter what.
I'm going to eat it. I just drive with the windows down.
Ladies and gentlemen, he went there.
Went and came back. So
now we're going to get the giggles. Great.
Before the internet went kaput last week, we were talking about sauce. So we talk about dry pasta versus fresh pasta. We're going to elaborate more on that one. And sauce. Okay, sauce. 5-minute sauce. Very simple. Can of crushed tomatoes. And yes, you can make pasta sauce with fresh tomatoes from the market. Have you seen the price of the tomatoes? And then some tomatoes are not equals from the other. Most of the tomatoes are picked green. They're stored in big warehouses, and they are gassed before they're given to the customer, so they turn from green to red. That's why when you slice that tomato, it might have a grainy texture on it, and the sauce doesn't come the same way. If you then choose to use the hydroponic.
Hydroponic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
hydroponic tomato. If it was hydroponic, will we play music underwater?
Yes, we'd be listening to the tomatoes instead of eating them.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Tomatoes make a small sound, sort of not unlike small pygmy whales. True stuff.
Like,
This is fact. It's
Eat
fact.
me. I'm delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hydroponic.
Hydroponic.
Grown in the water.
In the water.
Yep. Grown in the water.
In the water. And oh, look at that.
I know.
So, so my best way to ensure that you always have consistent product is using canned tomatoes. They're not fresh.
It's okay.
Oh, it's okay because the tomato canning facility, it's next to the tomato where the tomato fields are. So you cannot can green tomatoes. It will be disgusting. It doesn't work. You only can can ripe tomatoes. Tomatoes are steamed so they can remove the outer skin and then can. Guess what? You always get a consistent product from the can. Of course, one can is superior than other. Certain brands are better than other ones. That will be a whole show to discuss which can of tomato is better. But are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Have you seen how many can of tomato?
There's a lot. There's so many different brands.
Tutoroso, Bertolli, even the Harry Steeder have their own brand. Harry Steeder Organics canned tomatoes, they are fantastic.
Right.
So that will be a whole nother show that we go, which tomato will be better. So let's go back to the sauce. Very simple, marinara sauce. Why do we start with marinara sauce or tomato sauce? Because it's the most popular one. We can talk, oh, trust me when I talk about sauce. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna be June, we're gonna still be talking about pasta.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I got no problem with that.
No, I like a good fresh vegetable pasta.
Oh my God, just saute like that one right there. And this one is made with just like ripe tomatoes. This is not even a sauce. This is just the tomato puree. This is what I call my quick sauce. Quick sauce, you take a kind of crushed tomatoes, oil.
Olive oil.
No.
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 Peanut oil?
Canola oil.
Oh, canola.
Why?
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Extra virgin olive oil. You see these chefs going like, and now we're gonna cook with extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, are you sauteing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sauteing. I'm not gonna use excellent, beautiful, cold pressed olive oil and heat it up until it breaks down, killing all the good enzymes and all the good flavor that has in it.
Right.
So I know you've seen the shows. I know you've seen the Girls on Food Network. Extra virgin olive oil. Let's cook with it.
Little EVOO.
Stop.
Sorry.
Stop.
Had to.
Stop. We don't say that word here. Extra virgin olive oil, it's delicious, especially if it's cold press, first cold press extra virgin. It has a flavor, an aroma, a peppery substance. It's actually good for you, it's healthy for you. If you overheat it, you're gonna kill all those good things that the olive oil has, especially when you're paying $20 for a 2 quart of extra virgin olive oil. No, that's what they call dressing oil, finishing oil.
Right.
You don't heat up that bad boy. Stop doing that.
Okay, gotcha.
Good.
Canola. A fresh can of...
A fresh can of canola oil?
No, a fresh can of tomatoes.
Okay, good.
Fresh tomatoes. Some canola oil.
Canola oil. I take 2 garlic cloves. I press them. I don't mince them. I don't dice them because I don't know who came with the misconception that Italian food has to have buttloads of garlic. Don't know what it started. I don't want to keep that trend. Garlic is just there to give a aroma, to give a perfume, almost like a cologne to your oil. Heat up the oil, drop the 2 garlic cloves. Once they start turning brown, fish them out. We're just giving the aroma of the garlic. We don't want to bathe in it. Although some people are like, I will love garlic. Me too, but too much is too much. Take your can of crushed tomatoes, put it in your pan, add some herbs. I love to add basil and oregano. Simmer it for 5 minutes, done.
Okay, so talking about basil and oregano.
Yes.
Are you adding fresh?
If you have it.
If you can get the fresh, and I have noticed lately at a couple of the grocery stores, I was actually looking for, I made enchiladas and I had some cilantro. The price of herbs have gone down. Since,
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can get at your local grocery store a fresh set of herbs, I would go for it. I mean, I got a bunch of cilantro for 68 cents.
Yes, I mean, herbs are considerably gone down. I mean, dry herbs, it's not bad to cook with dry herbs. It's just keep them fresh, keep them rotating. Don't buy that 1 gallon jug of basil because it was on sale for $5 and you still have it in your pantry from 20 years ago.
Yeah, not good.
Because they're gonna go bad. They decay with time. Nothing wrong with cooking with dry herbs. The difference between cooking with dry herbs and fresh herbs is. Okay.
I fail. I get an F for the day.
No.
The difference between dry herbs and fresh herbs.
You can't beat fresh herbs.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely.
Now, fresh herbs, you add them at the end of the cooking process because they're fresh, they're hydrated already. Dry herbs, you want to add it 3/4 of the way in because the dry herb has to hydrate and then release the flavor because it's dry. So it has to hit the sauce, it has to become hydrated and then release the flavor. If you add it at the last minute, you won't get that.
Right.
Now you have to, when you use dry herbs, you have to use less herbs than fresh herbs because dehydrated herbs, they lose a lot of volume. So let's say you use for a recipe a tablespoon of fresh basil, you want to use a teaspoon of dry basil.
Okay.
If you use a tablespoon of dry basil 1-to-1, it's going to be
basil.
Way too much basil.
Yeah.
And I love basil.
Yeah.
But too much is too much.
Like bathing in garlic, you'll be bathing in basil.
In basil. If you love bathing in basil, that's a complete different show. We can talk about it. I don't know if we can broadcast it here. It's going to be a showtime or like cinemas late at night.
But seriously, later on in the spring, when the culinary garden is really we will have to do a show out there.
Not even now. We have had such a mild winter. The cilantro is coming back.
Fantastic.
Because it didn't kill the roots.
Right.
So everything is sprouting. The Harris Teeter has already. They sell the basil in packets, live basil, and you just put on the dirt and it grows. Perfect. So I'm about to start doing that. Fresh herbs. So yes, you can add your fresh herb at the end of the cooking process, or your dry herbs at the beginning of the at the 3/4 of the way in on the cooking process. And your 5-minute crush tomato sauce, it's ready. Now it's going to have a finer texture because I like my tomato sauce with a bigger texture. So I take my tomatoes and I do it the way I learned from my mom and my dad. My mom is from the Alps, from the Aosta region. My dad is from Piacenza, Emilia-Romagna. And it's a bunch of tomatoes, ripe tomatoes, and a mirepoix. Carrots, celery, onions. 1 clove of garlic for a big 5-gallon thing. 1 clove of garlic, 1.
Wow.
Yes.
1.
1.
For 5 gallons?
Yes.
Wow.
1.
Okay.
And let it cook really slowly until basically the trick is I add a little bit of oil. Once the oil comes to the surface, it means the sauce has lost enough water that is pushing the oil to the top. That's my indication that sauce is ready. I like to run it through a food mill. A food mill, it will push the pulp through the to the dies, and I use a medium die, and we'll leave all the skins behind.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We'll leave the skin of the onion, the skin of the tomatoes, if there's any left over, all the fiber from the celery, everything stays back, and the sauce it has that nice chunky feel to it.
Right.
You can choose the die of the food meal, even smaller or larger, depending on your taste. I like a medium die. Thank you. Now, that process takes about 5 to 6 hours. You don't have that time. There's wonderful sauces that are ready for you. Now, there's a difference between your 99-cent ragu sauce and no comment, and your really good sauce. There's some good product out there. Bertolli has a really good sauce. Actually, my favorite sauce is the Harris Teeter organic marinara sauce.
Okay.
It's the same price of the other sauces, and the flavor is really good, and it has a nice chunky consistency.
Okay.
I like it chunky. I like a more liquid sauce. Well, take the same sauce, put it in a blender, run it through the blender, and it becomes velvety. Now, velvety sauce, I would use it to condire the pasta, which is season the pasta. And one thing that I take as a custom is once the pasta is cooked, I season it with a little bit of the sauce before I put it on the plate.
Okay.
So I would take this, I will run the sauce through the blender, make it nice and liquid. And as soon as the pasta cooks al dente, which means to the tooth, which means still with a bite in the center, I take it to a bowl, add the hot sauce into it, and I toss it with a little bit of the pasta cooking liquid. That way the pasta is going to absorb a little bit of the flavor still. And then you do this beauty. Can you just serve the pasta and top it up with the sauce? Absolutely. You can do that. But I like to really season my pasta with a little bit of the sauce for a couple of minutes before I put it on the plate. Or even though we're talking about restaurant here, restaurant style, I like, when I used to work at this restaurant in Miami, we used to take the pasta, cook it halfway, and then make the sauce on the saute pan, and then throw the half-cooked pasta into the sauce and finish cooking the pasta into the sauce.
Okay.
Oh, talk about flavor absorption. That is delicious. Talk about flavor absorption right there. And then just toss it and then top it with your sauce. And we're talking about just red sauce, like this beauty right here. This is just tomato sauce. And this one is condita, is seasoned in the, with a little bit of the sauce. And then the sauce here is basically diced tomatoes, saute quickly with a little bit of oil, and toss your pasta in, add it to the bowl, garnish with a little bit of basil and fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, which is Parmesan cheese.
Right.
Which that could be another show because Parmesan is.
Oh, we could probably do 2 shows on cheese.
Yeah, but especially if you're gonna make pasta, spend a little bit of more money and don't get the Parmesan cheese that come in the can that says Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, the one that's in the green tube.
Green tube. I don't want to mention the brand because we're trashing
Well,
it.
actually, I think all of them have the same green tube. You know, one brand started with the green tube, and then everybody started doing the green tube.
And then there's the tube, and if you read the ingredients in the bag, it has cellulose and veggies thin and tricalcium titanium, God knows what. Oh,
and titanium, God knows what.
God knows what. Oh,
why are you buying this?
To preserve freshness.
Yeah, well.
No. Take yourself, treat yourself to a nice piece of Parmigiano or Parmesan cheese from the Reggiano region in Italy. Yes, it's about $20 a pound, but the flavor you get out of it is fantastic, especially if it is grated right before your plate. A lot of restaurants, they just have the guy walking around with the
thing that
either the thing that spins, or we have the plano grated. Would you like some cheese? I'm like, absolutely, and don't go too far away.
Yeah.
And you grate it right on top of your plate. Now, in Italy, it's a no-no to put cheese with seafood.
Okay, but that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't go along.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And I see people that seafood and they put the cheese on top of it.
Because you've got that nutty bite of a Parmesan or an Asiago, and you put it on seafood, and you lose a lot of that the luxury flavor.
Well, some people. Again, if you're paying for a dish at the restaurant and you made this beautiful seafood dish and you want Parmesan cheese,
go for it. There you go.
Go for it. You're paying for it. It's just my personal opinion. Seafood and cheese doesn't go together.
Well, the delicate flavor of fish and shellfish and everything else, you lose that delicate flavor in my opinion, and I'm sure your opinion. You lose that delicate flavor, and anything that you've done to the shellfish, especially if you're sautéing your scallops or something like that in some sort of, I don't know, bacon.
Hey, bacon and scallops.
You lose it. You lose it when you put a very nutty, bitey cheese such as Parmesan on there.
I mean. Saute some bacon and the same bacon fat, sear some scallops, and then put it on top of this pasta.
Done.
Not a problem. My opinion, no cheese. I went to this restaurant called Milton. Oh my God.
Milton and Miles?
Yes.
No,
that's the one here.
Yeah, that's the one. No, that's the one up there in Raleigh, I think.
No, it's a really cool restaurant. It has a 1940 vibe to it.
Okay.
It has. I need to take my mom there. She will love it. It has a lot of World War II memorabilia. And the menu is really cool. It's really comfort food.
Yeah.
Comfort food done really well. And the day I went there, they had this special. They had the, hold on, somebody's sending me the name. No. I thought I had tech support.
Tech support? You gotta call a friend.
Yeah, call a friend. You got a lifeline. Call a friend. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's really cool. It's a 1940s theme, and they had on the special they have mussels. I love mussels.
Sure.
And guess who failed to read the full menu? So the full description, or ask what's come with, and this comes this beautiful dish of mussels topped with taleggio cheese.
Oh.
I'm like, stinky cheese and mussels? And people were eating it like it was going out of style. I'm there like scraping the cheese off the mussels, and I'm like, perfectly cooked mussels, really good sauce, and I'm just scraping off the cheese of the mussels. And
gotcha.
I'm like, but you know what? My mistake. I didn't read the menu.
Yep.
I could have said, please hold the cheese. But it's just, I don't know, there's something in my brain that doesn't click. Probably right now there's chefs going like, no, that's perfectly fine. That goes great. I'm like, good.
Good for you.
That's why we have many restaurants and many flavor profiles out there. Cheese and fish. I think the only acceptable way is a tuna melt. Like a sandwich, canned tuna, cheese on top, and still, I'm iffy about it. I'm iffy about it. But let's go back to the sauce. Let's go back to the sauce.
Okay.
So pasta, look at that beautiful thing. So cook your pasta al dente. Sauce, when you start with a nice marinara sauce, then the possibilities are infinite. You can just saute some veggies, add your tomato sauce, add it to your dish. You can do now seafood and red sauce. I think it's a match made in heaven.
Oh, I agree.
Now, seafood can be really very simple, being sauteed in butter. Add some capers with shrimp. They call them shrimp scampi, and the magic of TV. Look at that. Boom. This is a very simple dish. It's sauteed shrimp. And instead of a sauce, we have taken cherry tomatoes, quartered them, and they're barely cooked, so they're still nice, fresh, and vibrant. So basically, we are changing the temperature of the tomatoes. Saute your shrimp once they're cooked, remove from the pan, heat up the tomatoes, and then add it to your pasta. A little bit of basil leaves, lots of crab pepper, and we are in heaven.
It looks lovely.
We're in pasta heaven. It's delicious.
It is.
I like to also, when I'm entertaining at home, or there's a couple of restaurants I've seen, they're serving pasta family style. They put a big tray of the pasta and then everybody serves themselves.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen those restaurants here in Raleigh, but I think it's a great concept. Want to open a family pasta restaurant?
Sure.
No, we're cool here.
Yeah, I was going to say, no.
No, we don't want to work 18 hours a day again.
I was going to say, 16-hour days are not my thing.
16?
Yeah.
That's nothing. 16-hour days, I was like, no, we're fine with this. We're fine with this. Always cook your pasta al dente. Sauces that can vary, like the famous Alfredo. You ever eaten Alfredo sauce?
Absolutely.
Okay. It doesn't have heavy cream. I'm sorry. I see most of the recipes here. They call for heavy cream and cheese. It's like Alfredo pasta is actually something really beautiful and simple. It's pasta that is cooked really al dente, finished on a hot plate, and it's butter and cheese. That's it. And you toss the pasta. Look at the beauty. Look at that beauty with chunks, massive chunks of Parmesan cheese and basil on top of it. And the Alfredo pasta is just any kind of pasta, and you just finish cooking either in the pan or in a hot plate. In Rome, when the pasta Alfredo was invented, you do it tableside. So they finish the pasta right there next to the customer. It's butter and Parmesan cheese. That's it. There's no heavy cream.
Right.
I know here it's like, okay, heavy cream, starting the thickest.
So how did they go from that? Well, I mean, who started adding heavy cream and decided that that was a good idea?
Same people that decided to add a bunch of garlic to everything Italian.
Oh, that's true.
I guess. I mean, it's a shortcut. Don't get me wrong. I have done it in a pinch. I'm the first guilty party. It's like somebody asked me one time, can you make Alfredo sauce? And I had just like 15 minutes to make it. I can't remember where it was. It was like a last minute request at a party. Or yes, it was a banquet, we're busy, and it's like, sure, no problem. I took a bunch of heavy cream, brought it to a boil, add some Parmesan cheese to thicken it up, some salt and pepper, taste it. Is that good? It's fantastic. That's not the real thing. Not the real thing.
No.
But okay, they were happy.
Yeah, hey, as long as they're happy.
They were happy.
No, just like if you like cheese on your seafood, whatever makes you happy.
Listen, if you want to add your cheese on your seafood, go ahead. But pasta, then we can talk about shapes and sizes. The long pasta, goes well with the seafood. Also, try to match your protein to your pasta.
Good. Okay. Good. Can we pull that up? The pasta graphic behind us.
Oh, the pasta graphic.
Yeah, we'll pull that pasta graphic in behind us, and then we'll take a look and see.
Let's say there's this dish like the ziti. I love ziti with fagioli sauce. Fagioli sauce is bean sauce. It's eaten all around Italy, and it's mostly in the north is cranberry beans.
Cranberry beans.
Yes.
What's a cranberry bean?
It's a bean that it's called cranberry.
Okay.
It's a kind of bean. It's not pinto.
It's a pinto.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a type of pinto bean.
It's a type of, yes, sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries.
It's not the cranberry that is, it's a bean. No, I'm sorry. It's, yeah, it's a bean, like a pinto bean, but then it's cranberry because it has kind of like a pinkish hue.
Right, it's so just a pinto bean.
Yeah, for the dish, you will use borlotti beans, but it are like $7 a pound.
Yeah.
So you
We'll go with the pinto beans.
We'll go with the cranberry beans. They are like $1 a pound.
Yeah.
We'll go with that one. And it's a really interesting preparation. It's from my dad's town in Piacenza. And basically there is no tomato sauce. The sauce is made by mincing onions really, really small and slow cooking them in oil. So basically, and we're talking about a couple of hours, and you just stir and cook the onions until they caramelize and become brown. So it went from this like pot of blended onions to this caramelization, and it's nice and sweet and fantastic. And then you add your cooked cranberry beans in there, and you just finish, you cook it for about 10 more minutes so all the flavors melt together.
Yeah.
And that right on top of the pasta.
Sounds good to me.
And it's good because here's the thing, when you mix a legume and a grain, you create 21 amino acids, the base of proteins.
Now we're talking health here.
Healthy. That's why if you see also in a lot of South American cooking, they combine beans and rice.
Sure.
When you combine beans and rice, you're making protein. It's not like steak protein, but it's protein that can sustain life.
Yeah. So if you choose not to eat meat, there you go for your proteins.
No, hold on.
I know. I said if you choose.
Hold on.
I
didn't say we're gonna stop eating meat. I said, it's a good alternate.
It is.
Like at home, I try not to have meat every day, so we have vegetarian days. We try to alternate, and one of my favorites is lenticchie, which is lentils. I make a very simple lentil stew, stock and lentils. And the lentils, as they cook, they release their own starch. Very simple, mirepoix, carrots, onions, celery, cut very fine. I use a nice beef stock or chicken stock. Cook it down. Lentils take about half an hour to cook. Green lentils, the regular green lentils that you buy at the supermarket, nothing fancy like the French green lentils.
Right.
Red lentils, though, they cook in 5 minutes. Be careful. I just use the regular green lentils, and that you put it on top of the pasta. That's a really Neapolitan, from Napoli. They eat lenticchie and pasta. I love lenticchie and pasta, and also very fulfilling. And again, it provides a good base of protein in there. And if you want to go that healthy day, you can make your lentils and pasta.
Oh, cool.
Pasta e fagioli. Now, the most pasta e fagioli, where you hear there, pasta and beans, people relate it immediately with soup. Yes, there is a version of soup called minestrone,
right,
and they add veggies and pasta and beans.
Right.
But this version is just the onions cook really slow until they caramelize, add the beans in there, finish cooking it, and then add that on top of the pasta.
Perfect.
And the sweetness is fantastic that comes out of it.
Perfect.
Going back to your pasta shapes. Now, be creative. I love to use like the fusilli for the bean and for the bean sauce because it really picks up the sauce.
Okay.
The more of like the ziti or the fusilli and the trecce and the casarecce, they pick up a lot of sauce, and I love when that happens. Now for like macaroni lisci, the big ones, I love to do clam sauce with that because it gets into the holes.
Aha, gotcha.
Aha. I like to use not this really small ziti. I like to use the macaroni rigati, the big one. Rigati picks up some of the sauce, and then when you have the holes and you're using the clams, it kind of gets stuck into the holes, and it's like, oh, I think it's delicious.
It's like a pasta burrito.
Oh, pasta burrito. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
kind of like a pasta burrito.
Sorry.
Oh, you want to talk about
our
weird
producer
stuff?
Amanda and I were talking burritos this morning. So.
Oh, okay. Because I can tell you about the pizzagna.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about the pizzagna?
No, please.
Oh, hold on. I hear my ancestors choking. Hold on. I hear my ancestors choking in the pizzagna. And I think we have a picture of the pizzagna. And it's a really interesting hybrid. It's like pizza slash, look at that. It's a pizza slash lasagna.
So basically in a round pie pan.
And you take a springform pan and you start like a lasagna, and you just layer your pasta all around the springform pan, and you layer with ricotta, pepperoni, and mozzarella, and cheese, and pasta, and you just keep building the layers, and you bake this monster for about an hour, an hour and a half. And they put mozzarella, ham, black olives, bell peppers. I can hear my dad going like, "Ma, cosa sta facendo quello lì? That's not Italian." And
say, it may not be Italian, but doggone it, that's American right there.
That's American. And listen, nothing wrong with that. I have tried it. It's actually good.
It's really good. look at him. He's like,
it's actually good. It's really good. I'll go for it. Well, it's like, it's
take it to your dad, he would eat it.
Listen, I'm an American by choice. I'll eat it. It's delicious. Now, the trick on this bad boy is do not cut it as soon as it comes out of the oven. Let it sit for about 15 minutes, but it's going to get cold. Don't worry. I think we're going to include a link for the recipe for that one. Trust me, there is so much heat inside there, and cheese and sauce and meats that, trust me, it's going to stay hot. But let it sit for 50 minutes before you slice it. If you slice it when it comes out of the oven, why would I know that? Because I sliced it when it came out of the oven and it went like poof. And it turned into an acid.
You had lasagna pizza soup.
But when you know what, with a little crusty bread.
I was going to say, and then he ate it. He
turned
into crostini and just started.
Oh, dude, we cut it. It went on the cutting board. It went like poof. But you know what? As it's running out of the cutting board, we have bread. It's like, oh, here, hold on, it's gonna come out.
You made a dip. It started off as this and turned into a nice family dip.
Oh my God, it can be made as a dip.
It can be made as a dip.
Oh, we have discovered a pizzagna dip.
Pizzagna dip.
Oh my God.
To make that this weekend.
Oh Jesus, we're going to hell. No, we're not going to hell. We're in culinary heaven. I mean, listen. Creativity is top notch. It's like baked pasta. Baked pasta is an American thing.
Right.
You know what? It's actually really good and simple. And it's very popular. Very hard to find in Italy, the baked pasta. But just cook your pasta halfway, sauce of preference. Use a binder like mozzarella cheese that will, as it melts, it holds everything together. Toss it in the oven. Half an hour later, pull it out. Add some good, before you pull it out, toss it with some good seasonings in there, salt, pepper, oregano. You can add grilled chicken, you can add even leftover steak. Toss it around.
Can we take a break and then come back and talk about a bechamel sauce that we can add to our pasta?
Oh yeah, we're not even done. We're just scratching the surface. Let's go for a break and we'll be back with no more pizzagna.
I know, they look really good.
It looks good, man, it looks good.
Get one of those pepperonis right there.
In a world where some things are beyond legend, they will search for answers. Be prepared. Hang on to your seats. They are going where no one has gone before. Until now.
Why are you so close to me?
I don't know. Let me back up a little bit. Yo, check out our show on Big Bang Radio. No. Okay.
Hey, sports fans, we'll remind you guys to tune in every Friday at 3:30 p.m. with Sports with Lou on WNIA Big Bang Radio. Sports with Lou. We'll be breaking down all professional sport events and all your local high school sport events going around the tri-area. Don't forget, tune in every Friday, 3:30 p.m. And if we go into overtime, everybody's a winner with Sports with Lou. 3:30 p.m. WNIA Big Bang Radio. Ready, set, hey!
Weedity-wada, weedity-woo, weedity-wada-woo. Hello, my name is Stuart the Nighthawk Hawkins, and I'm a DJ here at Nash Community College's Big Bang Radio. So tune in Mondays and Thursdays from 8 to 10 for the wind down. Smooth jazz, geared to help you relax from your busy day.
And we're back, and we're talking, once again, pasta.
And we're hungry.
And we're hungry, very hungry. When are you going to start bringing stuff in and start cooking, man?
You know what? I might have to bring next show. I want to show how to make a couple of pasta chips by hand. So easy.
See, that would be great. I think the viewers would really get a kick out of making some pasta.
Yeah, because somebody was telling me, oh, you need fancy stuff to make pasta. No, not really. Like this guy's right here. I can make we'll show you next week. We'll bring, you know what, we put a fancy camera here. I'll bring my good old wooden cutting board. You was using a wooden cutting board. I know it's just for show. I just missed the wooden cutting board. When I make orecchiette, they really come out nice in the wooden cutting board. I know it's not NSF for restaurants. You cannot use cutting board. They have to be the plastic boring stuff, but we're showing stuff here and there. Okay, we're back.
Looks prettier on the TV.
On the TV?
On TV.
On the TV looks pretty?
It looks pretty.
We look pretty on the TV. Well, today I didn't get the makeup on the green room because I was
I know. We had to let go a couple of our stylists.
Oh, man.
So we had to do our own makeup and our own hair today. So it's okay.
Baked pasta.
Baked pasta.
Any shape of pasta can be made baked. Anything. A couple of tricks. Always cook your pasta halfway. If you cook your pasta completely, remember you're going to cook it for at least half an hour so all the flavors can meld. There's nothing more annoying than overcooked pasta. Trust me. Try. You don't believe me? Overcook the pasta for 20 minutes and then try to eat it. It's going to be like, no, not good. The texture is going to be slimy. It's going to overhydrate. It's going to start breaking. Not a good deal. But baking pasta, you can bake anything with any sauce, but I can hear people like, so he's not giving us any tips. Well, here's your tip. Pyrex or stainless steel, always oil or butter your dish so the pasta doesn't stick that much. Any shape of pasta you want. Sauces, you can add tomato sauce, marinara sauce. You can add, you can use the jarred stuff. Don't use the 99-cent Prego, please. It's a great way to get rid of leftovers for home use, not for restaurant use.
Right.
Home use, you got a bunch of leftovers, toss them with pasta, make a creamy sauce like, your favorite sauce.
The bechamel.
Bechamel. Let's see, you showed a couple of videos. What is bechamel, Andrew?
Bechamel is one of the 5 mother sauces.
Ooh, somebody was paying attention.
I was paying attention. And it is, you start with a roux of butter and flour. Yeah, and then we keep adding butter, and we keep adding butter.
No, that's after the sauce is made. So
we keep adding more butter.
That's after the sauce is made. You first gotta start with 2 ounces of butter,
right?
2 ounces of clarified butter, 2 ounces of flour, and then you make your roux. You cook it up a little bit, and then you add how much milk? 1 quart.
1 quart.
1 quart.
1 quart. I was trying to remember the ratios. It was
the ratio, and this is universal.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to get a
3
sauce,
to 1, right?
I don't know. It's 4 ounces of roux with 1 quart of liquid. That is, my God, that's how I learned it back. I didn't know it was that way until I went to cooking school. And it's like, no, 4 ounces of roux, 1 quart of water. I'm like, oh, that is genius. I don't have to be guessing.
Right.
And so 2 ounces or 4 ounces of roux, it's made with 2 ounces of flour and 2 ounces of clarified butter. Bring it together, cook it a little bit to cook the flour flavor out, and then you add the cold milk in it. Cold milk.
Cold milk.
If you add the hot milk to hot roux, it's going to turn into a golf ball. Just going to seize up.
All your roux is going to turn into paste into a paste.
Not even. It's gonna be chunks of flour floating with hot milk.
Right.
No, you can't save that one. Cold milk, whisk, bring it to a boil. Every time you thicken a sauce with a starch, please, it's imperative, you need to bring it to a boil. Only at that point is where the starches that you're adding to your sauce will achieve full thickening potential. Otherwise, you're going to still adding flour. When you turn around and the liquid finally reaches a boil, it's going to turn into spackle.
Right.
We don't want spackle.
No.
I've eaten spackle, but it was a mistake.
It was a
It was a mistake.
It wasn't the pink spackle, was it?
What's pink spackle?
That's the anyway. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You got to tell me after the show.
I do want to plug this though. When Chef Carlo is talking about things like the bechamel sauce or a onion piqué or a what's the other one? The come on.
But we haven't gotten there yet.
No. But I'm going to
The onion brulee.
The mirepoix. When he mentions mirepoix, it just escaped my mind. If you go to Nash Com College on YouTube, it's Nash Com College. You can find Chef Carlo's vignettes, which we did last semester, and it includes things like a bechamel sauce, it includes like an onion piqué and mirepoix, how to make it, and the correct ratios to do so.
Yes, correct. So sometimes I say mirepoix, I assume that people know what is that, but mirepoix is...
Well, you explained it pretty well. You're like,
I did?
Yeah, you
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of onions, celery, and carrots.
Right.
That it's the base for, oh my God, that is the aromatics, the base for, I would say, 80% of the stuff we do in the kitchen.
Right.
Unless you're cooking Asian.
Right. So if you're wondering if there's anything that he mentions here, there's a good chance that on our Nash Community College, you can actually search for how to make a good bechamel sauce. Continue, please. Sorry.
Oh, thank
Had
you.
to plug us.
Yeah, plug whatever you want. Not everything, but. So you start with your 4 ounces of roux, your milk, and you want to add an onion piqué, which is what it is.
It's an onion with a
half onion.
It's a half an onion with a
clove.
Oh, hang on, a clove and a bay leaf, and the clove is pushed through the bay leaf into the onion.
So we know what it is.
Right.
Anyhow, we're going to drain it, and you let it cook for about 45 minutes at really low heat, because the bechamel, the flour has to cook, and then adjust the consistency with milk, strain, your bechamel is ready.
It's your base.
That's your base. You want to make a really good macaroni and cheese, start with a good bechamel. Add your cheese into the bechamel. Lots of cheese. But I don't say perfect because a lot of people have different ways of making
Bechamel?
No, the thing, macaroni and cheese.
We are having a fun time today.
Wow.
We can't think of anything.
It's been a rough week,
It has.
and it's just Tuesday. The way I do it is I don't go over 50% of cheese on my bechamel. So if I'm making 1/4 of bechamel by volume, I'm not gonna add. I'm gonna add just 2 cups of cheese. Some people might go higher on that one. I think it achieves the best consistency on that. And my favorite cheese to add for my bechamel, for macaroni and cheese, is cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese. Gives it that stringiness and that pull. You can go full cheddar cheese, no
You
problem.
can do whatever cheese you want.
Whatever cheese you want. That's my own personal opinion. You put it in the bechamel, you let it cook a little bit longer, the cheese melts. There's nothing wrong with adding a couple of dollops of butter in there, and then mix your pasta with the bechamel, and then add some Parmesan cheese, and then put it in the oven if you want to finish it in the oven, or your macaroni cheese is ready to go.
Yeah, and you can have a good time. You can add some andouille sausage. You can add whatever you want to. Jambalaya style. You can go crazy.
And look at this, baby. This is just bechamel sauce, which with the addition we're using mostaccioli for this one. And the bechamel sauce is your base. You can add your andouille sausage, your fresh herbs, cracked pepper, always cracked black pepper. It just goes so well with pasta.
It does.
And the fresher, the better. That's why you see people like crack the pepper. I don't like to use the one that has been sitting on the glass pepper thing that has been there since the restaurant opened about 20 years ago, and now it's like dust.
Yeah.
No. You know what? I have snuck my own pepper into restaurants. I have snuck hot sauce into restaurants.
I can see that, the bringing your own. It's like,
Well, because there's this really good chain of restaurants down in Florida called Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza. Fantastic pizza. They make these chicken wings and they cook them in the coal oven. No hot sauce.
no hot sauce.
No hot sauce.
Were they against it?
Yeah. They're like, the chef wants you to do it this way. Not a problem. Turn around. Cholula. I got my own hot sauce. You can't tell me I cannot bring my own hot sauce. There's no corkage fee for that one.
So when you're baking a pasta, of course, we do the pasta halfway, and then we mix whatever we want in there, or we can layer it like a lasagna or whatever. What's a good temperature?
350 degrees until the top starts becoming bubbly. That means this thing is cooked already. You're just heating it all the way through. So once the top start becoming bubbly, you're good to go. That means when I mean bubbly, you're gonna be seeing already bubbles coming from the bottom to the top, and it basically is telling you, hey, I have reached boiling point. Get me out of here. You want to go fancier than that? Stick a thermometer inside of the macaroni and cheese in the oven or whatever you're baking. Once it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees and above, you're good to go and safe. Why do we want to take it to 165? That's federal regulation that says anything that has to be that was cooked and needs to be reheated has to reach that internal temperature. And also, you want the cheese to melt.
Absolutely.
Because it's not a baked dish pasta if you don't have cheesy gooiness coming out of it.
Right.
And even I have come to the point that we have done individual portions of baked pasta. You put it in a nice cassoulet dish, and you put all in there, and you just toss it in the oven, and it goes into the customer's plate, and it's like, of course, you always tell them, don't touch it, it's hot. What do? They touch it. Ah, it's hot.
Yep. What part about it's hot do you not understand?
A lot of people don't get it.
Bolognese.
Bolognese, we're getting there. We're getting there. So your bechamel sauce is also a good way to cut down on fat. Because if you want to add creaminess, you're just adding milk that is being thickened with flour and a little bit of butter.
Right.
It's different from using pure heavy cream, which is not bad.
No.
But it's not good for the waistline, especially now the summer is coming. And summer bodies are made in the winter.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so if you want to get hit...
So technically, looking at us, it's still winter, right?
Yeah, it's still winter. Winter is coming and it hasn't gone yet.
He hasn't gotten all ripped yet.
Oh, no, I've not gotten Schwarzenegger yet. It's getting there. I mean, hopefully, well, no. School doesn't end until May, so I'll be eating until May.
You'll be a little late.
Yeah, I'll be late.
That's okay.
It's okay. Not the first one. But bechamel adds creaminess to your... Now, for those that are doing that are joining the gluten-free bandwagon, you can thicken your bechamel sauce with cornstarch, and you can use the rice noodles we used last week for any dish that you want to do your pasta.
Absolutely.
Let's say you want to make macaroni and cheese. Nowadays they sell a lot of macaroni and cheese. The little shells that are gluten-free. Instead of using flour to thicken your bechamel, use cornstarch. You're good to go. Gluten-free all the way.
Exactly. If you go back to our Asian pasta episode, you'll see that there are many different sizes and types of gluten-free pasta.
Yeah, and they're
Asian
not.
pasta.
And now they're making the gluten-free products nowadays. They're way better than 10 years ago. Gluten-free pasta 10 years ago, you will cook it and it will disappear in the water.
Yeah.
Like it will melt. It's like, where is it?
Yeah.
Why is this thick? Now the gluten-free pasta nowadays is really good. Actually, Barilla has a fantastic gluten-free pasta that you find at the Harris Teeter, and it's top-notch.
And I will tell you this, as someone who lives with someone who has a problem with gluten, the gluten-free pasta that you're cooking, eat it then. Reheated, it's not as good as it was.
No.
Not like a normal pasta, because your gluten strands are gone, and if you reheat it, it just kind of gets
unless you
chewy.
bake it.
You could bake it, yeah.
Unless you bake it.
But in the microwave, it's just, you're already, bad.
Nothing in the microwave kind of like.
I don't have that kind of time.
Unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you just came back from
Wherever.
whatever. That's the only time that everything tastes good out of the microwave.
That's true.
Okay, so bechamel adds creamy additions. What can you put on the bechamel? Anything.
It's a mother sauce. It's a base.
A mother sauce. It doesn't go well with fish, my personal opinion. Although I've
Once
seen
again, the cheese, the creaminess, or
yeah, I don't like the bechamel with the once you add the cheese with the fish. You can use the bechamel by itself with fish. It works really well.
But we know that your favorite on fish is capers and butter and lemon. So.
I can eat that until the day I die. We'll get there. Okay. We switch gears and we need to talk about this beauty right behind me. Bolognese sauce. It's not meat sauce. That's different.
It's not Chef Boyardee.
It's, stop. Pasta in a can. Oh yes, send that to Italy. See what happens.
Oh wait a minute, pasta in a can is fantastic at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a complete different planet. At 3 o'clock in the morning, everything is allowed and permissible. Even Taco Bell tastes awesome at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Who's the chef that came up with this thing?
The greatest taco ever.
Is this taco ever?
Wrapping in chicken. Are you crazy?
Woo! Then next morning, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
you're sitting in the porcelain goddess. You're like, what the hell did I do last night? Yeah. At 3 o'clock, it tastes fantastic.
Yes.
Especially when you come out of the Irish pub.
Yes.
But this beauty right here, this deserves a whole segment. Pasta bolognese. It's not meat sauce. Meat sauce is not bad. Meat sauce is, take any kind of meat. My favorite kind of meat to take meat sauce is, I take a little bit of ground pork, ground beef, and ground turkey, equal parts. Cook it until it becomes brown and caramelized, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then you add your marinara sauce into it. Let it cook for about an hour so the meat will soften and absorb all the tomato sauce. That is meat sauce. It's not bolognese sauce. We're clear? Are you clear?
I'm clear.
Are you clear?
They're clear.
We're clear. Okay, that's meat sauce. Nothing wrong with that. I love it. You can even saute your meat and add bechamel sauce into it. It's completely fine. But that's meat sauce. It's not bolognese sauce. Bolognese sauce, it's a little bit more different and delicate. Bolognese sauce starts with a mirepoix. Mirepoix is onion, carrot, celery. Diced really small. Cook slowly. And then you're going to add your meat, which should be veal.
Oh.
But veal is? Make it rain.
Expensive.
We make it hail here because we throw coins. We don't have that kind of budget. we throw coins.
Yes.
We make it hail.
Yep.
So my favorite bolognese sauce, a mixture of ground pork and ground beef. Equal parts, get it nice and brown, and then cook it slowly with your mirepoix, and then here comes the milk. It's finished with milk. And then you cook it slowly and the milk will absorb. It will make this nice chunky sauce. Now, why is it red? Because you take a little bit of tomato paste just to give it that color. And depending when you come in Bologna, some of them don't even put the tomato paste. They just omit it completely. In Tuscany, they finish the sauce with chicken livers.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was my eyebrow. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he raised the eyebrow. Nobody knows that, but some regions in Toscana, they take chicken livers, they run it through the blender until creamy. They strain it to be able to leave back any of the liver fibers, and then they add it to the sauce, and they do not bring it to a boil. They cook it slowly, and the creaminess of the liver finish thickening the sauce.
That makes sense.
That is real bolognese sauce, and it has more of a pink hue, and especially in Bologna, it's finished with milk. The main cooking liquid is milk that is reduced, cooks in, and it's kind of like a chunky sauce. It doesn't have a lot of sauce to bind it together. This one is finished with tomato paste because that's the way my brain is wired. I just add a little bit of tomato paste at the end just to give it that color, because I don't know why I have to see red. I have to see red in there. It's like, wait a minute, this is like pinkish. No, it needs more tomato paste.
Well, pink and a yellow pasta, you know, it's kind of, it's not as appetizing as the juxtaposition of a red sauce with a yellow pasta.
Well, what about vodka sauce?
Well, I mean,
a very American sauce.
Or, for that matter, what is that Russian sauce? That Russian thing?
Russian thing.
Yeah, it's
Borscht?
terrible. No.
That's
continue. I'll think about it.
okay. You let me know.
Yeah, I will.
Now this is pappardelle pasta, which is pasta that 5 minutes. That's all we got.
5 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. We'll do it. We'll close with bolognese sauce. This is pappardelle pasta, which is basically a pasta that you run it. We need to do a demo next week.
We will do a demo next week. We'll continue with pasta next week and do a demo.
Cut about 1 inch thick. Now look at the color of it. It's yellow because I added a lot of egg yolks. Pasta nowadays, the eggs that we get nowadays from the institutions that provide food to us, the egg yolk is kind of like whitish. If you ever get a farm fresh egg, the yolk will be red. And therefore, when you make your pasta will take an orange hue. So in order to attain this kind of color on the pasta, you either find farm fresh eggs or you can use all egg yolks. Yes, you can. The cholesterol, don't think about cholesterol on this one.
No, I'm not.
No, don't think about cholesterol. But in order to achieve that really nice hue, you add more egg yolks into your pasta. And you just make it nice and thin, cut it 1 inch wide, cook it, toss it with your sauce, and then plate. Now, bolognese sauce, it's tricky because it has a milk base. Milk you cannot boil. If you boil the milk, it will completely break apart and will look like nasty cottage cheese. That's why it's important once your base, it's made with the mirepoix and the meat, your milk, it has to cook really, really at slow heat, and that milk has to evaporate slowly, leaving the yumminess behind. I've seen some people that they reduce the milk and then they add it to the pasta. Not really traditional, but it works too. I've seen people adding heavy cream.
Sure.
Not traditional, but it tastes good. Not traditional, but it tasted.
It is yummy.
Well, if you think about it, well, you're going to reduce the milk and it's going to concentrate the fat. Why don't you just add heavy cream on it?
Just go ahead and add the fat right now.
It's like, Pastor, you make sense. You make sense right there. Can you add a little bit of bechamel? Also. But that is the traditional way bolognese sauce is baked. But now, don't confuse it with the meat sauce. Meat sauce is just any kind of ground up meat that is cooked with tomato sauce. Can you make a pork meat sauce?
Sure.
Sure. Can you make a pork bolognese? Absolutely. Actually, one of my favorite things that I've been playing with, I make a lamb bolognese, 100% lamb. Beautiful thing is you can just take the lamb leg, which comes with a beautiful fat, and you just take the fat off and run it through the grinder a couple of times, and you use that lamb fat, you render it, and then you start cooking your mirepoix there, and then the ground lamb in the same lamb fat.
Nice. That sounds lovely. And see, what I'll do is for a good meat sauce, I'll actually go and buy Italian sausages, and I'll take off the skin and everything else.
The casing?
Yep. Brown it up and everything else, so I have a sausage pasta.
But see, there's nothing wrong with that.
You can do anything you want with it.
But just they can't call it bolognese. I've seen a lot of times, like when I go into a restaurant, because, wait, Chef Carlo, you go to a restaurant, do you pasta bolognese? I don't have time sometimes, and I want my pasta bolognese. And it's pasta bolognese, and they give you meat sauce. I'm like, where's the bolognese sauce? Oh no, that's bolognese sauce. I'm like, no, don't pick this one with me. Don't. I just want my bolognese sauce. I'll take something else.
Chef, we got 60 seconds.
Okay. Well, bolognese sauce, pasta, get inspired, questions, shoot us an email. I have a lot of answers. I can tell my students, I get paid to answer questions. Guess what? Yeah, I do that. And you want tips, recipes, anything like that, shoot us an email.
Absolutely. Next week we'll continue on with pasta, and we'll have a demonstration of making your own pasta in pasta shapes.
With the fingers. Very simple. There is no excuse that I don't have a fancy pasta machine. I'll show you how to do it with your fingers.
Don't need it. It's just an easy way. It's a way for them to make money.
Yeah, they can make it. Everybody's entitled to make money.
Oh, sure.
It's the American way, baby.
Yeah.
Capitalism rocks.
Thanks for watching Talking Food again. I'm Drew. This is Chef Carlo, and we will see you next Tuesday. More pasta.
All right, guys. See you next Tuesday. Have a good week.